A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and prior to even joining the Suicide Squad, Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, chatted with a psychiatrist and revealed his tragic and traumatizing past. But what did he say? What secrets did everyone's favorite toilet seat wearing superhero reveal? Peacemaker Disturbing the Peace, issue number 1, is brought to us by Garth, Ennis, and Garry Brown. And if you know anything about Garth Ennis, famous comic book writer / creator, prominently known for co-creating The Boys, creating Preacher, and his infamous work on Punisher Max, then you likely have an idea on what you can expect from this one-shot. And yes, your spidey senses are absolutely correct. This book is gory, it's brutal, straight up it's fucking rude. As always, Garth Ennis doesn't hold back when it comes to his gruesome writing style. However, unlike the Boys comic book series, where at times you can feel gross and completely unethical when reading issue after issue, I can honestly say that I didn't actually get that vibe here when reading Peacemaker. Sure, the book's content is legitimately fucked, but if you are familiar with Garth Ennis' work, then upon reading this issue, you'll definitely sense that tame power that is likely DC editorial and Garry Brown guiding Ennis to, keep it below level 5. Less dicks and drugs. And that's all for the better of mankind, I think, because this issue was fucking awesome. What I love most about reading this book was just the amount of depth that the story actually provides for the character of Peacemaker, and why Peacemaker may cherish peace with all his heart, no matter how many men, women, and children that he may need to murder in order to achieve it. Us, the reader, seeing Peacemaker convey his behavior and belief with clear conviction actually stands firm, and his cynical approach in delivering his viewpoint is never deterred, which is simply due to the sort of tragic yet black humor approach Ennis provides to the character and his backstory. Because in truth, Christopher Smith's Peacemaker looks and talks like an 80s action figure, but fact of the matter is that he's cold and calculated, and he wouldn't think twice and snapping someone's cat if it would help mankind reach closer towards peace. When it comes to the book's art, the message of Peacemaker is subtly placed in every page. Even panels where Peacemaker and the psychiatrist are just simply chatting it up in an empty cemetery. But generally speaking, every page is bloody, gruesome, and violent. And due to Garry Brown's pencil work, the concept and the belief that Peacemaker shares can almost be felt in every single panel. Also, the book's colors by Lee LaRidge present this wonderful color palette that shares a connection with one's romantic concept of Hollywood war, especially within action films like Die Hard or Rambo, where wars are fought in jungles and battles are being waged with fire and bullets raining in the background. Basically armies versus one man, but that man here being Peacemaker. So yeah, some really great stuff. Overall, when it comes to Peacemaker Disturbing the Peace, you don't need to read anything to enjoy this book. Literally, you can just open the book and begin from there. And I'll bet money that if this book sells well for what DC is aiming for, then y'all can expect a Black Label Peacemaker series to come from Garth and Garry. Peacemaker Disturbing the Peace, issue number 1, gets a bloody 9 out of 10. And so, our story picks up with Christopher Smith and Dr. Sedgwick, both sitting in a cemetery which has the atmosphere of what truly describes the word soulless. Now, Peacemaker wants to have a conversation with the doctor. He wants to rid his closet of skeletons per se, and Dr. Sedgwick, being the one assigned by the government to evaluate Chris's psychological profile, she is ready to do so and take notes. But first things first, she needs to ask some hard questions about his past in order to properly analyze and determine if his application for joining a new squad can be approved. And thus they start things off, back when Christopher was 8 years old. Little cap-wearing Christopher Smith is shown in a flashback walking home from school. And yeah, it's your average Tuesday after-school special. But sadly, with Chris entering his home, he bears witness to the aftermath of his entire family who have all just committed suicide. Everyone from his mom to his stepfather to his siblings, everyone is dead. But the thing to keep in mind here is that this is the first time Christopher Smith has witnessed death, and it was an eye-opening experience for him. Now, Chris did call the authorities, and so from there he was given counseling and he was placed in foster care. However, this led him to meet DC's Bonnie and Clyde. Scooter and Slinky, because when Chris's foster father was in the bank one afternoon, Scooter and Slinky showed up to pull a robbery, and the two ended up shooting and killing the foster father. From there, the pair took his car keys in order to make their escape, but little did the pair know that once they took off in the car, whilst in the middle of a high-speed chase, a young Christopher Smith was actually in the back seat and was seemingly fast asleep the entire time the two were getting away. But instead of killing Chris, both Scooter and Slinky decided to take him along, so sort of like a young apprentice. And though Peacemaker is telling Dr. Sedgwick that, he only knew Scooter and Slinky for a couple weeks, the two managed to leave a lasting impression on him, which helped form who Peacemaker is today. And thus, with the inevitable demise of both Scooter and Slinky, with Chris not being present at the time of their deaths, he spent the next 7 years alone, living and surviving on the streets. But eventually, once Chris became of age, he went to the recruiting office and he joined the army. And through the hardships of training and war, Chris grew with experience. From basic infantry to Army Ranger to Green Beret, being part of some missions with the SAS, he eventually worked his way up to Delta Force. So yeah, overall, Peacemaker's life has been pretty shitty, but it also brings us to Operation Silence, a mission where Christopher Smith was the only survivor. Now, seemingly, Operation Silence was supposed to go pretty simple according to the books, but from Peacemaker's point of view, the operation was being run by imbeciles, people who didn't particularly care for peace. But regardless, Peacemaker did his part. He went in first and did his job, becoming successful and getting the information that was required. However, his team, they were never seen again, thus being labeled killed in action. But it's through this dialogue where Peacemaker sort of hints at the fact that his team was actually made up of some bad people, and because he's all about peace, it's suggested that he may have perhaps helped his team into getting themselves killed. Now in the present, Dr. Sedgwick is getting a bit nervous while Peacemaker is saying all of this. She's starting to think, or at least get the vibe, that Peacemaker might end up killing her if she doesn't accept his application or if she keeps asking him questions. But Peacemaker's trying to assure her that, you don't have anything to worry about because I know you're a good person, you're just doing your job. And with being able to calm the doctor down, she reveals that what she's trying to get at here with this whole evaluation and asking about Operation Silence is the fact that with every single mission or every single past incident within Peacemaker's life, it seems that everywhere he goes, death seems to follow. People end up dying in terrible ways, almost like he's the Grim Reaper of sorts, always dying through some unexplained reasoning. But Chris tells her that every single mission and team that I was a part of when something like this would happen were corrupt to some degree. And that's why certain people and team members never managed to return. And yeah, it's possible that I might have killed them, which of course, he's telling her this in a very loosely tone, neither confirming nor denying. Though some of these people are on my side, at the end of the day, they don't want peace. Rather, they want chaos. And the people on my squad during Operation Silence, they wanted chaos. And because of that, Bob took care of them. To which we see a flashback image that his squad was ruthlessly destroyed by a man-eating shark patrolling a certain area from his last mission. Now, Peacemaker, prior to meeting Dr. Sedgwick, he knew that she was working for the FBI and that this entire evaluation was some sort of way in order to ask Peacemaker the questions regarding Operation Silence. And with wanting to know why Peacemaker even agreed to this meeting, considering the fact that he knew the FBI were looking into him, the fact is that he wanted to tell the truth. He wanted to let everyone know that he is all about peace, and that no matter who you are, whether you're Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman, whether you're the President of the United fucking States, if you get in the way of peace, then I will fucking kill you. If you are corrupt and you sow chaos, I will put a bullet through your head. And this is why back in the day, both Scooter and Slinky made such a strong impression on him. For these two hillbilly motherfuckers were absolutely the worst of the worst. They were terrible people. They reeked of chaos. And the truth is that back in the day, Chris was actually the one who ended up calling the cops on Scooter and Slinky. He's the reason why they ended up getting killed. And to quote Christopher Smith, he gave them peace. Peace by snuffing them out. Peace by death. And to harken back to when the family committed suicide, one of the things that was said in their suicide letter was that the reason they were committing suicide was because they were depressed and unhappy, and all they wanted in life was peace. Therefore, the idea was imprinted onto Peacemaker at a very young age, the idea being that death equals peace. And that, folks, was the end of Peacemaker, Disturbing the Peace, issue number 1, the untold origin story of Christopher Smith. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to my channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on Peacemaker? Are you guys liking the amount of Peacemaker content we've been getting? How are you guys liking the show? And would you guys be down for a Black Label Peacemaker series? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. No pun intended.